On the morning of September 11th, 2016, Honor Flight Northern Colorado gathered at the Embassy Suites Hotel in Loveland, Colorado for its 17th trip to Washington, D.C. Founded in 2008, Honor Flight Northern Colorado would now have taken almost 2,200 veterans to visit their memorials. This flight was named in recognition of supporter Charlie Barnes, whose fundraising efforts of 3 years of riding his Harley 10,000 miles in 10 days raised enough donations to pay for the trip. World War II, Korea, Vietnam. Which were you?
All three.
All three, really? You were in the service for a lot of years then.
21.
How many?
21.
So what year did you go in?
1946, right at the end of the war. I just made it.
And then what year did you retire?
January 1st, 1970.
And what branch were you in?
Army and Air Force. I retired Air Force.
So you went in the Army, right? So did you do infantry type thing? Or?
I did infantry and tanks.
Were you part of the occupation forces?
Yep. Almost 3 years.
And then did you serve in Korea? Or?
Yeah. I did 2 in Korea and 2 in Vietnam, 1 in country, 1 out.
I want to tell you, I appreciate your service.
You're welcome.
Well, you enjoyed the trip, sir. You're obviously a World War II veteran. What branch of the military were you in?
I enlisted in the Coast Artillery and then transferred to the Air Corps.
What years were you in?
1942 to 46.
Okay, most of World War II then.
Yes.
Where did you serve at?
I was all in the States, but I served in, did guard duty on the East Coast in Virginia at night looking for people from submarines.
Yeah.
They didn't show up. After I realized there was going to be no invasion, I transferred to the Air Corps.
What did you do in the Air Corps?
The first thing, I went to the aviation cadets, and the first thing I did was to wash out of flying. So then I went to armorer school, and I was an armorer on a B-17. And when the war ended, they transferred me to the B-29. I was a remote control gunner on that's the top turret on the B-29. That 29 was comfortable.
Compared to the other, huh?
Oh, the other was so cold.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And my breath would freeze my scarf, get ice.
Well, I want to thank you for your service.
Well, I did the best I could.
You all did.
Yes.
I really appreciate it. And you have a good time on the flight. I think you'll really enjoy it.
All right, so we're putting on.
So you're obviously World War II vet.
Oh yeah.
And what years did you serve?
Let's see, December of 42 to September of 45.
So you were in for most of the war then?
Yeah, I did a lot of training with them. They were nice enough about that. And then I finally wound up as a ball turret gunner on a B-17 out of ETO, the European Theater. And got there after the Luftwaffe was pretty well knocked out of the sky, and we had to worry about the 88s they had. The flak, they were pretty good. That was a pretty good gun, and they know what to do with it. So, they kept us busy.
How many missions did you fly?
35.
35, wow.
Yeah, 35. Some of them were odious, The 10 hours, It's tedious. There's a few of those, We went all the way into Poland and places like that. The frostbite. It depended upon your heated equipment to keep it warm.
Yeah.
And one trip, there was a short circuit. It was a busy trip.
I assume you were never shot down.
No. We had one trip. We lost a couple of engines and wound up having to force down made it across the channel and wound up in a British field. We stayed overnight there, and then they came and got us, ferried us back to where we were headed. Yeah. They had a spot open for us the following day to go out on the next mission.
Oh boy.
But it was, we were lucky.
So you were a World War II veteran?
Yes.
Yes. What years did you serve?
From 1942 to 45.
Where'd you serve at?
South Pacific on a destroyer.
In the Navy then. What kind of duty did you have?
Combat duty. Most of the time we operated with the carriers. I was on a 2200 cab. They had twin mounts. They liked the firepower and they liked the speed to keep up with the carriers. Radar picket duty in Okinawa was pretty harrowing.
When I said, oh yeah, just loved it.
That was, the kamikazes come pretty close there. We got hit, yeah. We lost about 6 men on that.
So they can have fun, so they can have fun.
Well, I want to thank you for your service, and thank you for going on the trip. And you enjoyed the trip. You're going to see a lot of things in a few hours.
Thank you very much.
And I think you'll enjoy it. Thanks again for your service. You were a World War II veteran?
Yeah.
And what years did you serve?
Really, I went in the war late. I was 14 when the war started, so I went in late. And I was sent to the Philippines. By the time I got there, they dropped the bombs on Japan. I was a corpsman striker. I wanted to be a corpsman. And there was a little hospital with a series of Quonset huts on an island called Manicanes. There's a ship repair base there. And after a few months, I thought I'd like to get off the island, so I asked for sea duty. And that wasn't unusual because ships would come in and guys, they had a point system. Guys had so many points they'd go back for discharge. But the ship they put me on was Yard Oiler. That wasn't the ship I really wanted, but we did get up to Manila and Subic Bay, and we served up there. And, so most of my service was late in the war.
Well, I want to thank you for your service, and you enjoyed the trip. You're a Korean veteran?
This group got split between Korea and Germany.
Oh, okay.
He ended up going to Germany. Was that 50 or 51? 51.
But it was during the Korean War. Yeah. In Army or?
Air Force.
Air Force. Right after it became the Air Force.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
I was in base maintenance. So we took care of it. I was in the plumbing department. We took care of all the barracks and the hangars and everything.
One of my least favorite things to do is plumbing.
Somebody has to do it. Can't let that go bad.
Well, I want to thank you for your service. Thank you for going on the trip. So you're obviously a Vietnam veteran. What years did you serve?
Vietnam was 67 and 68.
In country?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Da Nang.
Da Nang?
Navy TAD to the 3rd Marine Group. Utility helicopter crew.
What was your duty on the crew?
We supplied the 3rd Marine units with ammunition, replacements, took the dead and wounded out and flew in replacements, and then took snipers in country and dropped them off. And then also picked up down pilots in our spare time, kind of a utility type helicopter. We were originally search and rescue out of the Navy. We lost one of our crew members the second week we were there. He was manning the gun in the door and got hit. And there were so many So many faces, so many people.
Yeah, a lot of missions. I want to thank you for your service. Thanks for going on the trip.
I'd like to welcome you to the Honor Flight Northern Colorado send-off for our 17th Honor Flight. With this flight, we will have taken 2,173 veterans from World War II, the Korean War, the war in Vietnam, plus Purple Heart recipients from all conflicts, including Iraq and Afghanistan. This is really a special flight for us. And you may have noticed the banner behind me. This is the Charlie Barnes Honor Flight. And it's so named to honor one of our most ardent supporters. Over the past 3 years, Charlie has mustered friends and supporters in order to conduct 3 fundraisers that were what he calls the Iron Butt type rides. That is, he rode, or tried to ride in the case of the last one because of a breakdown, but he raised money to ride 10,000 miles in 10 days, 3 times. And through these efforts, and with the support that he was able to muster, he raised $120,000, enough to pay for this flight. But not only that, it's not just the amount of money that he raised. Through his efforts, he greatly increased the awareness of Honor Flight Northern Colorado and our mission, and I'm sure due to his efforts, many of you in this room are here because you heard about it through some of the publicity that he generated. So please join me in thanking Charlie for his efforts and thanking all the people that supported Charlie in this effort. I'd also like to give a special thanks to the Embassy Suites Hotel. This hotel has been responsible for providing this venue and the goodies for the venue 13 times at no charge to anyone. And of course, most importantly, the reason we're here is to say a special thank you to our veterans. So thank you, veterans. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Congressman from Colorado's 4th Congressional District, Ken Buck.
How do you compete with the Eagles? This is a special day and an honor to be with a special group of people. Today we honor those who perished on 9/11 and we honor those who saved our world more than 70 years ago. My son is a captain in the U.S. Army at Fort Benning, Georgia. He's following in your footsteps. Just like you assumed the mantle of those who came before you to fight for freedom and independence from the Revolutionary War through World War I, my son is assuming the mantle that you carry, looking to your actions as the model for his own. And I couldn't be prouder. Your actions, your courage, your bravery saved our country and the world. With your generation as their guide, I'm confident my son and his fellow servicemen and women can guard this nation and our way of life for decades to come. We all look up to you, we thank you, and we remember your sacrifices. Thank you, and God bless you.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with
With the early morning festivities concluded and the buses loaded, the first leg of the journey began. Led by the Colorado Patriot Guard riders and law enforcement escorts, the veterans were greeted by crowds of well-wishers as the buses made their way to Denver International Airport. I-25 and interstate exits and overpasses were filled with emergency responders saluting with lights flashing. Near the Erie exit, close to 1,000 people gathered for what has become known as the Mile of Smiles. The veterans were greeted by local military personnel as they entered the Signature Air Facility at DIA for the second leg of their venture. There would be a short ceremony with a personal message from Senator Cory Gardner before boarding the plane for the flight to Baltimore.
And I don't know if they mentioned it this morning, but he drove literally all night on his bike to be down there at 6:30 this morning at Embassy Suite. He's a brute for punishment as far as I'm concerned.
Color guard, halt. Left, face. Present. Colors. Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous sky o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly.
September 11th, 2016, 15 years ago, our country was attacked. The men and women in this room know what that means, because you have stood on the lines of freedom for our country. 15 years ago, our nation was attacked. And by this evening, 15 years ago, there was no other airplane in the sky because of what had happened. But today, 15 years later, this group of men and women, the veterans here, return to that sky, to our nation's capital, that you fought to protect, that you fought to give us the freedoms so that you may return there. And so today, when we look up to that blue sky to see the God Almighty, and we look up to that blue sky and know that you are in the air, we give you thanks. We give him thanks. Please know you go to Washington, to those monuments, with the thanks of a grateful nation. You fought for it, you earned it, and we are all here because of you. God bless you. Thank you.
The arrival at BWI Airport in Baltimore found more greetings from various groups as well as airport travelers who recognized the rich American history that was represented by those entering the terminal. That evening, the veterans were treated to a banquet at the Hilton Hotel, complete with a keynote address by retired Air Force General Thomas McInerney. Early the next morning, a breakfast buffet was served and the buses were boarded for the drive into Washington, D.C. The first stop on the day's agenda was the World War II Memorial. Completed in 2005, the memorial came 60 years after the war ended, and many of those it pays tribute to would never see it. However, there were 20 in our group that it held special meaning for. Next, we visited the U.S. Air Force Memorial. Overlooking the Pentagon on one side and Arlington Cemetery on another, the memorial features 3 steel arcs shooting skyward, representing flight. The grounds make a perfect setting for a picnic lunch. The Iwo Jima Memorial came next and replicates the raising of the flag on Mount Suribachi on the island of Iwo Jima nearly 70 years ago. Traditionally, all of our veterans on each trip gather in front of the memorial for a souvenir class picture. The day concludes at the Korean War Veterans Memorial and the Vietnam War Veterans Memorial, which lie on either side of the Lincoln Memorial. With the majority of our current veterans on our trips being from those 2 conflicts, these 2 memorials are especially meaningful. While the Korean Memorial reminds us that no conflict or sacrifice is forgotten and freedom is not free, the Vietnam Memorial brings healing and closure as veterans read the names of friends, comrades, and family members that are memorialized on the wall.
humbling.
Humbling?
Yeah, it was. That's the first time I've been in that port, and it was very humbling. I feel kind of insignificant about the whole thing. You know, it's just overwhelming.
It is.
It's very emotional for me, and so I'm still processing. I'm going to have to sit down and do some writing and get it on paper.
Well, thank you for your service. Thanks for going.
Thank you for helping out.
I gave my wife a picture, and she said, "Why are you kissing somebody?" I said, "No, she kissed me. And by the way, here's pictures of the other 8 guys sitting around me. She got too." Oh, okay.
What, did you wait till you got on the plane to do it
Yeah,
this
she
time?
came on the plane.
How was the trip? I'm going to keep you on camera here.
Cried like a baby.
Really?
Oh, it was great. I've got a couple of years of working as a good volunteer at the wall.
Oh, really?
So that I was on home turf. That place just rips me up. Jesus. This was just magnificent.
Was it?
Great. It was great. It was great.
Is that the first time you'd ever seen the wall?
Yes, it is. It was the first time.
Yeah.
I was down. In fact, I was an alternate, and I got to go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's great.
Either that, I could have gone in May, but I'm glad I went today.
Yeah.
Well, it was real good.
Thanks for your service. Thanks for going.
Welcome back. What a trip. Welcome back.
The trip?
Excellent.
Excellent.
It was one of the finest trips I've ever had, and I've traveled for 40 years as an auditor for a big corporation. They treated us wonderful.
Had you ever seen the World War II Memorial?
Negative.
Well, that's nice, isn't it?
It's going to take me a while to write this up, but it's quite an experience.
I'll tell you what, that's a happening.
Yeah.
What?
A lot.
You couldn't draw it on paper and you couldn't tell nobody what it is.
Welcome home, sir. Thank you for your service. I hope you enjoyed it. Awesome. Thank you.
Welcome home. How was it?
Oh, great.
Great. Welcome home. Do you have a good trip? As the bus is near the end of the trip, they are again escorted in by law enforcement. Back at the Embassy Suites in Loveland, they are greeted by awaiting family members. Honor Flight Northern Colorado executes 2 of these trips per year at no cost to our honored veterans. All expenses are covered by tax-deductible donations with the financial oversight of the Community Foundation serving Greeley and Weld County.